Teva Pharmaceutical is trading at its highest level since May, jumping about 5% today on reports that the company is in talks with the Justice Department to resolve that criminal antitrust probe. And Kailey Leinz is here with more. So it's a price-fixing thing that they've been looking into, as far as we know.
And they've been looking into it for a very long time, since back in 2014. So this is essentially more than 5 years that this has gone on. And the allegations, as you said, are that the companies essentially got together to kind of split up the market so that they could keep prices high. And they say that the allegations are that it's been very damaging to patients and other customers of these generic drugs, which make up about 90% of the entire drug market. Now, it hasn't resulted in any criminal charges against any major companies as of yet. The Justice Department has a lot of issues with finding credible witnesses who are willing to come forward. And the statute of limitations for a lot of these allegations is actually going to be up next year, in which case this would move to civil. So the clock is ticking. So now there may be more incentive for an agreement. There's reports that Teva and some of these other companies are in talks with the DOJ. Among what they're discussing would be a deferred prosecution. So essentially they admit to some of it, may have to pay a fine, they cooperate with the investigation, but they don't get indicted. And that's actually key for the likes of Teva, because they could continue to work with the government programs like Medicaid, et cetera. And the federal officials actually have an incentive here too, because if you do file criminal charges, that could bar them from working with Medicaid, and then you take more competition out of the market and could inadvertently raise prices, which is exactly what they're trying to avoid.
And on top of all, there's treble damages under civil law in the United States. And so if they were found guilty of price fixing, they'd have treble damages. Plus, there's other legal problems they have.
Yeah, it's not just the DOJ, the criminal probe. They've also facing a lawsuit from 48 states, D.C., 4 U.S. territories, and that's a civil allegation. And actually, even if they do settle with the DOJ, reach some kind of agreement with federal officials, that could actually boost the civil case here should they admit any wrongdoing. Plus, even outside of generic drug pricing, you also have the opioid epidemic, which Teva has been front, and there's so many potential liabilities with that. So there's a lot of legal issues here.